Okay, it's 7 o'clock. It's July 8th. It's the Finance Committee meeting. And let's stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We're gonna, before we get to the fund transfer, Karen, is there any updates you want to give us?
Good evening, Finance Committee members. Through you, Mr. Chair, we are just closing out the FY24 budget right now. So in the next, couple of weeks, we'll have final numbers that I'll be presenting to the Finance Committee and the Select Board on where the town ended for the FY24 expenses and the FY24 revenue. I'm happy to say that the FY24 budget looks really good. We only have one transfer request from the reserve fund, so I'm looking forward to closing the budget and moving forward for FY25. But I really appreciate you coming to this meeting. We have a short period of time where the state allows us to do transfers, and it goes through different procedures in terms of the Select Board approving it as well.
Okay, good, thank you. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. We have a reserve fund transfer. Chief Weston, would you like to speak to it?
Sure, I can.
If you would, please.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate it. Thank you, folks. I know you're pressed for time and you want to get out of here. I'll try to be real brief. $171,000 was appropriated in FY24 town meeting to rehab our brush breaker 28. That's located in South Carver at Station 3. The project was put out to bid 2 times, but due to the exorbitant cost of the first bid submittal, the first bid exceeded $300,000. We decided to reject that bid. The bid was obviously rejected. We were then forced to rebid the project a second time. The second try at rebidding the project came in at $171,000 and some change. However, the scope to complete the rehab or repair was decreased substantially in order to try to get inside that budget, which we did. The second bid submittal certainly was more in line with the budget, but like I said, we had to decrease that scope quite a bit to try to get inside the budget, which we successfully did. We contemplated rebidding the project for a third time. However, it was decided that the anticipated cost to rebid the project for a third time would only grow higher, and we felt that we would lose our bids. We would lose our vendors. They were only going to go so high, and we're only 2 people we could vend. One of them came from Texas, and one was local, and that was the only people we had. So we were kind of stuck. So at that point, it was decided with the town administrator, the finance director, the past ones, and myself to award the bid for $171,438 and to deal with an additional cost overrun to complete the project at another time. The bid was eventually awarded on September 7th, 2023 to Bulldog Fire Apparatus. That's located in Hopkinton, Mass. That's actually the same place where all our brush breakers, which were originally built in, 1992, 97, and 98, all came from that same facility, but a different name and a different company now. That was for that price, and then there was also $3,300 to complete some lettering, which brought us into the $175,000 mark. The decision and the anticipated shortfall were re-indicated and explained numerous times over the past year in my budget meetings with the Capital Outlay Committee, budget meetings with the Finance Committee meetings, and with the past town administrator and finance director. So I tried to keep people very in tune of where that was heading and what the anticipated cost overruns might be. The good news is on June 23rd, this past June 23rd, the brush breaker was officially completed and we put it in service at our Station 3, so it is done. It's in service. The cost overrun to complete the project was $10,991.31. I honestly anticipated it to cost around $20,000 in a overrun. I thought the vendor was very kind to work with us and to get it as low as they could. It should be noted, this vendor is very eager to work with us again on a next rehab project, which will be going out to bid hopefully in about a month. You know, and just as an FYI, I know it's not going to be part of this meeting, but I do like to, we do try to work pretty hard in our finances with the fire department. We did have an excess of about $40,000 in funds with our fire department. That's our salaries and operating. And I do understand that that's not privy to this vote and this, what we're doing tonight, but I think you just should know that. I mean, there's certainly many times where you go to the finance department, I mean, the fire department, and we've overexpended what we're supposed to be. It's always nice to come home under budget sometimes. So, so about $40,000, and I know our finance director will figure out where that goes in helping over some other public safety departments and stuff, but that's beyond my purview. But you should just know how it all balances out. That's it. So, of course, we are looking at a transfer, but that's kind of the reason why it's happening.
That's good. Thank you, Chief. And we know over the years that you always do your best to have a a fair but adequate budget, and you monitor it very closely, and that's been your pattern over the years. But it's kind of tough to do sometimes when it deals with public safety, because there's certain things you just have to do them. And so we thank you for that.
Thank you.
And so we're looking for a transfer of $10,991.31. But before I get to that, I just want to make a note that the Finance Committee's reserve fund was originally budgeted for $175,000. Of that, before this, we've only had one other request. And that was, I had to look this up because Karen asked me about it, and it was way back in July, it was a year ago, that if you remember, it was the assessor's office that came in and said that they had to do a special analysis down at Edaville, and that was going to be about $23,000. So between that 23 and this rounded up to 11 for 34, that's the only things that came out of the reserve fund this year. And as Karen mentioned earlier, and to go along with what the chief said, the FY24 budget at the end of the year looked pretty good. And there was no need, as in some years, where we'll have several departments come in looking for a reserve fund transfer to help them out of the unforeseen 2020, the current year budget and so forth. And that basically didn't happen this year. So that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. So just wanted to make that point. And it's, congratulations to people like the chief and other departments that really, kept it in line this year. So that's good. And I know it's not easy to do. So with that being said, we have a request on the table. Does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to transfer $10,991.31 from the Finance Committee Reserve Fund to the Fire Department Capital Project Fund.
Okay, there's a motion. Do we have a second?
Sure.
Okay, Walter, second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No? Okay, so there it is. It's a 4-0 vote, unanimous vote. And then we...
Thank you very much. Thank you much, Mr. Chairman.
Hey,
Chief, how long is that brush breaker expected to?
I would expect, obviously it would be beyond my time, but I would expect at least 10 to 15 years. I mean, I wouldn't see why another, at least 10 years, and maybe consider another rehab or something. But the price of a new one of those vehicles right now is over $800,000, Put that 10 years out, that's something, a lot more than that, so. And just before I leave, I would be remiss, you should really all understand that Karen's been working very hard in recreating a lot of things within the finance about the town. So she has been a privilege to work with. I don't know if she'd say that about me, but she really has been working really hard, and it's pretty stressful. And I think you really we see the stuff every day that she's working on, and it's kind of a mess. And but really, she's done a good job, and she's being real helpful to us and trying to get there. So you really should know that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice
Karen's
job.
done a great job.
Thank you, Chief, such kind words. I think that the town of Carver, department heads, we have a great team, and we work really well together, and I think that we're making a lot of accomplishments and moving forward with a lot of new initiatives. So I thank, the committees and the department heads for working together, in a town administrator, Glenn Cannon. I think it's a, wonderful group of people. We have a great team.
It is, and I've been involved with several towns over my decades of experience, and this town by far has the best group of department heads, directors, administrators, and so forth. You just don't see the type of cooperation and the way that they all get along and the way that they have each other's backs and so forth. So that's really, really something to see. So we thank you all for that, too.
Thank
We
you.
love Rita. What, let me say something?
Thank you again, Chief. Okay, I don't have any topics other than to talk about. Do any other committee members have any comments?
No?
No? Okay. Next meeting will be to be determined,
Okay.
although I mixed up those numbers. It should be TBD, to be determined. Okay. And then we'll take a motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Okay, Barry? We have a second? Tony? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? I don't think so. Okay, that's done. Meeting over.
Not bad.
That's good. We're set. Area 58, thank you.